Win.
How we doing?
We're doing
How we
fine.
doing?
Alright. So, first things first, I think we should kind of just walk through, the proper procedures, steps, and taking of a pursuit. And then we'll go through, vehicle comfortability. Um, First things first, a lot of you guys are aware that we did change the coding system, how a lot of people call, like, 1 Adam 22, 1 Lima 30, shit like that. We got to make sure that you guys know that the different things we have. Adam we use for two officers in a vehicle. Lima we use for a single officer in a vehicle. And then you have stuff that we don't use as often, like David, which is for SWAT, Charlie, which is for bicycle patrol. Things you probably won't hear very often, right? So anytime you're taking a primary role or secondary role, which we'll discuss further here, you would obviously want to call out your call sign before even doing so.
In case you guys don't really understand how the radio etiquette works when it comes to your call signs, I believe it has been posted in LSPD training by Chief. So I would love if you guys looked at it because previously we had some confusion on how it worked. And etc. So I want you guys to look at it. Like, the primary thing that you need to know is that Adam is for 2 patrol officers, Lima is for only 1, and then of course you have your badge number, and we have 2 departments, which is LSPD and BCSO, so it's like 1 and 2. But those are not as important to remember. The important part is when it comes to whether you're patrolling alone or not, and your call sign. So either way, I want you guys to look at it, make sure to read it, understand it. If you have any questions, you can ask us, but whoever is teaching radio etiquette is probably going to explain it a little bit more into detail and go through that and etc.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of crossover in this entire class. I mean, we're gonna go over a little bit of use of force, a little bit of radio etiquette, but ultimately the entire training for those things will be done with the lead instructor of that class. This is mainly vehicle operations and pursuits, so this is gonna be talking about the role of a primary and a secondary in a pursuit chase. We're gonna walk through some things you have to call out radio etiquette wise, and also a little bit of use of force here and there, because we are going to be, sometimes people do get out of the vehicles when we are on chases, things like that, and you have to make those decisions. Alright, any questions so far, just to kind of give a...
Not yet, though I do have one.
Okay, go ahead.
When it came to into in a car, Bishop's been allowing me to say 1 alpha. Is that still a proper thing to be used?
What?
Mm.
With nothing afterwards?
136 alpha. Like, for an example.
Well, I mean, you don't really need to say the 1 or the 2. We want Lima 30, Lima 25, Alpha 30, Alpha 25. The 1 and the 2 don't necessarily matter at this point in time.
Okay, then it would be alpha 36. But
Yeah.
is that still allowed to be used?
Perfect, yeah. As long as you're a cadet, right? So an Alpha 36 would mean you have 2 officers with you. So you would want to make sure that you call out the highest ranking officer in your patrol car. So if I'm doing a ride along with you, you would automatically call out Alpha 30, because 30 is my badge number, regardless of what.
I'm chief. I'm kidding. I'm not chief.
Well, you know what I mean. But let's say we can use that example too, right? If you're chief and I'm the sergeant, then I would call out 36, but obviously the chief would always be 10. You wouldn't be 36.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is correct. The highest ranking officer would always call out the number. Okay.
What you need to remember is that radio call signs consist of 3 parts. So as I mentioned before, it's the department number, unit type, and personal identifier. The department number you don't really have to call out because we only have 2 departments at the moment, and it doesn't really matter, and essentially it adds too much unnecessary radio chatter. It gets to be a mouthful to end up saying it. Sometimes it really depends up on you, but you don't really have to say it. The important part is that you say the unit type first and then your personal identifier. Now, if you're alone, of course, you say your badge number. If you're with a higher ranking officer, you say theirs, and so on and so forth. So saying, like you said, 136 alpha is kind of, it's not correct to say, and we want everyone to get used to having proper radio etiquette. So make sure to have that, into consideration when you're saying it, that you say it the proper way.
Which, if we were using the department, it'd be 1 Alpha 36, correct?
Correct.
Correct. And that's perfectly okay too. But if you wanted to drop the 1, nobody's gonna fire you over it.
Yeah.
Bar.
So you have heard me countless times call out FEMA 25, and then go from there. I
Yeah.
don't really say the department number because it's too much of a mouthful for me, and I have no reason to.
Alright.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's walk over to the importance of what to call out when you get into a 1080. When you first see that car, you'd see a car take a hard left turn on a red light going like 100 miles per hour. We want to say the direction of travel, location of the vehicle, the description of the vehicle, and the speed and weather conditions if available, right? Those are like filler things. The most important parts are going to be the direction of travel, the location, and the description of the vehicle. Those 3 are going to be your top ones that you need to call out every single time that you're in a 1080. Everything else is secondary. Okay, so when for an example, if I see a car take a hard left turn going like 200 miles per hour on a fucking red light, right? You're gonna be, I got a red in color, 2-door coupe going northbound Vespucci Boulevard. You just kind of want to call it out. You could be like speeds of 75 miles per hour, weather clear. I mean, you don't really need to go through that stuff because typically we have clear weather all the time, but it's filler stuff. And a lot of times when you're on a highway going 10 miles straight for a really long time, you're going to need stuff to call out because you want to keep the communication up regardless of if they're in the same direction of travel.
You will see a better example of that when we actually start doing the chases and pursuits. You will see what he meant with that.
Okay. I think first we should probably just get them in a vehicle, kind of drive around a little bit, get them comfortable. I know a lot of you guys, Sashi, you've also had expressed. Sometimes the cars are a little hard to get used to. They're very different from your standard vehicle that you drive as a civilian, right? These Chargers are quite fast. This one is a boat, very difficult to understand. But just getting comfortable with those things, something that we wanted to do, something we never really did beforehand. And actually, give me 1 second because I believe Lyle is also here.
Yeah, I was wondering who the fuck.
Lyle.
Believe he's here.
What the?
Yeah, there we go. Perfect. What's up, Lyle? We kind of walked through a lot of this already, but we're gonna continue and just kind of hop in where we were.
Hello, Lyle. I am your new chief.
There's one more thing that I am going to address, and that's pitting. When you're allowed to do it, and when you should do it. So, I mean, it's fairly common sense when it comes to pitting. You don't want to do it anywhere in the city for obvious reasons. In case you put someone else in danger. I mean, pitting is quite dangerous. It can spin out both of the cars. You can essentially hit a pedestrian or even kill a person in the car. So pitting in the city is not allowed at all under any circumstances. Pitting is
boxing?
Extreme circumstances are only advised by a sergeant or higher rank officer. If somebody kills 15 locals down the sidewalk, then there's a certain point where we have to stop that. There's a certain point where we're not pitting in the city, not shooting in the city. Things that we usually always follow by are going to be taken care of, but you should never be making that decision as a cadet or an officer. You should always be requesting that permission from a higher up.
So anytime, because you would be either a primary or secondary, anytime you see a chance, for pit, ask for permission and, go from there. But be, on the lookout when you do want to pit. Don't pit when you're in the city. Usually when we do pit, it's on the highway where the cars are not around. Or like if they're doing a U-turn and you see a chance to not pit them but like box them in, take that chance. But of course always ask for permission first before you even think of doing that.
10-4.
Alright, What I did want to talk about is the comfortability of the vehicles. I know you guys have been cadets for a little bit. Um, do you want to warm up, drive the cars around a little bit without anything, or do you want to just go straight into one of us
I want to get
driving with
used to
calling?
driving them.
Okay, so let's do that. Let's kind of just take a maybe like
Especially
a
that one. I want to get used to its speed.
let's take like a 5-minute break or so,
Alright.
1 minute or whatever. You know, just take some time, grab the cars, uh, drive them around. Maybe you can chase Holloway a little bit. Who knows? You guys don't have to worry about calling anything out. Just get used to the vehicles. Come back here, and we'll go from there.
Yep. But
All right. I think we should, you know, obviously we want to walk through the role of a primary and a secondary. I don't know if we really clearly gone through that. Just right here, at least. Obviously, you guys have all been cadets a little bit. You know, the most part. But obviously, anytime you're primary and there isn't a secondary, you are taking the secondary's role of calling out regardless. If you're the only vehicle in the chase, you're responsible for keeping up with them and calling out. When you are a secondary vehicle coming up to your primary vehicle, you would say, you know, Lima 30 taking secondary, and then you would continue to call out the street names, and your primary would, you know, be quiet from that point on, right? They would focus on driving, keeping eyes on the vehicle, while the secondary would call out, right? You want to clearly identify when you lose eyes and when you have eyes, right? If you're a secondary and you lose eyes and you can't call out anymore, you want to say, hey, secondary, I lost eyes, and then the primary would know then to be like, hey, I need to take up the calls, I need to start calling the stuff out because I'm the only car in the chase, right?
any questions?
Yep.
Not really.
All right, perfect.
Ready?
Yeah, I'll let you go ahead whenever.
Alright,
gonna wait a
Lima
little bit.
25 is gonna be in an active 1080 going Strawberry Avenue northbound. It seems to be a sports car, 2-door, red in color, 1 occupant. Continuing northbound Strawberry Avenue going on
Alright,
the
so we're gonna be
freeway.
getting eyes here soon. Alright, we have eyes. We're gonna have Alpha 30 taking secondary northeast bound Los Santos Freeway doing 180 in the oncoming lanes of traffic. Heading southwest Los Santos Freeway. Another 180 correction lane of traffic. Lima 30
Primary
taking
lost eyes.
primary. Alright, we're heading northwest Del Perro Freeway. Continuing west Elgin Avenue. Still continuing west Elgin Avenue on the highway now.
Lima 25 is taking over secondary.
Oncoming
He is
lanes of traffic.
continuing southwest on Del Perro Freeway. Oncoming lanes of traffic. Driving is very erratic. Continuing on the Del Perro Freeway, still westbound. Still
Oh my
continuing
God.
westbound Del Perro Freeway, taking the right exit of the freeway.
Please.
Taking a
Fucking
right
brain chicken.
on northbound.
I can't even tell,
North
he has so
Upper
many
Drive.
spiders.
Secondary has lost eyes, and my car is also.
Alright, Lima 30 assuming primary and secondary. Eastbound Red Desert Avenue taking a right on North Rockford Drive, continuing southeast North Rockford Drive. Speeds of about 80 miles per hour. Taking another right, San Andreas Avenue, southwestbound San Andreas Avenue. Continuing southwest San Andreas Avenue, taking a left on Bay City Avenue, heading southbound Bay City Avenue. Taking another right, Conquistador Street. Heading west towards the beach, towards the mass shop, off-road in the beach, heading towards the water. Cortez Street, heading, alright.
Alright.
We'll catch up later.
Don't worry.
So yeah, just kind of pretend like we took over secondary a little later.
This is 136, going into a 1038 with a stolen police cruiser going down North
1080.
Elgin Avenue. Or 1080 going on.
Okay, remember you're
going
gonna
against
say
a
30.
stolen
Alpha
police
30
cruiser
assuming secondary.
Going down West San Andreas Avenue.
Alpha 30 assuming second.
10-4.
Suspect is on the wrong side of the road heading north on
Try to hold it down a little lower.
Going off road onto the freeway on the right side of traffic, west Del Perro Freeway.
Sirens too. West.
Suspect. Suspect.
Keep it up, come on.
West Del Perro.
You can say shit like suspect looks like he has wings, heading westbound.
Suspect is attempting to fly with his vehicle.
Yep, 10-4. Air 1 is up, be advised.
Continuing on South Del Perro Freeway.
Roll that out. Roll it outside.
Pull over.
Remember, you could be like
advised, the guy's
continuing.
got a hostage.
Yeah. Okay. You don't do that.
Take.
What is it?
Okay, if you can take second
Be
primary,
advised,
but
the
just
guy
make
is
sure.
armed and he is shooting.
Right, but she's like, she keeps slowing down, speeding.
Yeah, I understand, but you gotta focus on
Fuck,
your
she's
shit.
trying
Northwest Del Perro Freeway. Focus on your shit, not hers.
Continuing northwest on continuing northwest of Del Perro Freeway.
Have some confidence, you know. West, Great Ocean Highway.
Continuing on northwest Great Ocean. Suspect's going off. Suspect 1050, he's out. Suspect has a class 2.
He's got a gun, he's got a gun. Gun. Suspect down. Roll EMS. Alright, remember. Primary, call out. By the way, alright. Just so you know, you're Lima 36. That's all you gotta say. You don't gotta say 136. We gotta make sure
Right.
you're alone, you know. We have to know you're alone in your car now, okay?
Right.
Or Lincoln. Lima or Lincoln.
Yeah, I forgot to. I use military, not police. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you same thing, right? Your call's on. You're 29, right?
Yep.
All right, perfect. So remember, when you're taking over primary, you guys don't worry about if you switch spots. Just make sure you guys call out who's in the spots, right? That's all that matters. Call out the streets, you know, left, south, bound on Great Ocean Highway, stuff like that. Just a recap. All right, let's do this clean. Try your best here. Let's make it happen.
This is Lima 36 going on a 1038 with a, 1080 with a
What the fuck
white
over?
stolen BCSO sheriff's car going on the Great
Stupid
Ocean
ass
Highway
pigs.
southeast.
This is
Yo,
Lincoln
bro, you wanna
129,
fucking shoot it, bro?
assuming secondary.
We wanna
Going
fucking blast them?
southeast Del
We'll see,
Perro
we'll see.
Freeway.
Yo, I'm just saying, man, if fucking, there's a captain, I'm fucking shooting him after what he did to me last night.
Continuing on south Del Perro Freeway, going underneath the tunnel.
Hey, you give him the fucking finger.
Yo, we're
Somebody
gonna
fucking give
we'll
them
fucking
fingers.
shoot him, motherfuckers.
Exiting the tunnel on northeast
Fuck
Del
you,
Perro Freeway.
bitches!
Fuck 12!
Fuck you! Fuck you! Catch this shit if you can, bitches!
Be advised,
Suspect
they have
is-
weapons.
We have
Suspect is exiting the freeway on
We have
East La
weapons,
Puente
boys.
Freeway.
Did they just lose eyes? What?
Awesome.
Wait! No! Wait! Guys!
Guys, ah shit!